Today on the channel I'm going to be making right and left gauntlets and also throwing together a chain that I can attach to the kunai that I made in a previous video. And this will pretty much mark the end of the videos for the Scorpion cosplay. So at the end of this video I will put everything on so you can see how that looks. There are patterns to this up on Facebook for free. If you'd like to download them without me rambling anymore, just go ahead and get right into the video. Alright, on my base patterns 1, 2, and 3, I'm cutting out of 6mm thick EVA foam. The patterns are for the right, you just flip them over to do the left. I'm going to be gluing the main pattern pieces together using contact cement. And if you haven't used contact cement before, how it works is you apply some to each side of whatever you're trying to glue together. You allow those pieces to sit for 15 minutes or so until it's dry, and then line them up and glue them together. So I'm going to heat and curve these with a heat gun to the right and the left. The number 1 will be the top and the number 3 will be the bottom. The tip of the heat gun gets very, very hot, so you want to be careful not to either touch it or have it near anything that could get damaged. Alright, now I need to start covering the gauntlets, and I'm going to do that with 2mm EVA foam that I textured. And if you've seen the katana video, you already know what I did, which I used my heat gun to heat up the end of this file where all of the marks are, and then I just roll it across while putting steady, even pressure so I get that in there. And you should be careful, because you can get this too hot. That's also why I just use a heat gun for this. I don't put it on a direct flame or do anything crazy like that. And all I'm going to do with these is I'm going to start over here with the number 1. And I'm just going to start rough cutting pieces and gluing them on. Okay, I free cut a lot of 2mm strips, basically between 1/3 and 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to look at reference photos that I've taken from the film and from trailers to figure out where to place these. I'd waited for the film to come out because I thought if I got a better look at it, it would make it easier for me to understand or maybe find a discernible pattern and I'm just still going to have to wing it. Alright, so looking at reference photos, I put a series of strips on here. That is making my head hurt just looking at it. But prior to gluing those on, I figured out where I wanted them, and I put some Sharpie lines for here, and I glued them down with some gel super glue. 4 here, 3 going at a diagonal off the back, 4 going at a diagonal here. And this is where they're different, because on the bottom here I just put 4 straight across. I think there might actually be a couple plates that underlap, but I'm not putting that in. I still want to put 4 here, but I'm going to have 2 coming up that kind of end on this, and the other 2 are going to come down kind of around this. Okay, the left and the right are now done. Took a piece of cord and attached it to this little quick release clip here. This is going to attach to whatever I end up deciding to use for a chain. And then I can just attach it for storage, or if I just don't want it, I just don't have to have it there. And then I just super glued that in place with some super glue gel. What I'm going to use to seal it is some gloss Mod Podge and a brush, and I mixed together some black airbrush paint with some gold airbrush paint to sort of make a pearlized black. You can just buy pearlized blacks too that come with either gold or silver or both. I had a thought right as I was setting up with my brush and everything to seal this that I need a way to actually close them, and I thought Velcro, but I don't really want to do that. So I've cut some holes in both of these, and I did the right side first. What I'm going to do is put a strap of leather that I'm going to glue here out through the hole, loop it around, and through and out the end. And that's how I'm going to tighten it on both of them. Once I made the holes in the one, I lined it up with my cutter like that. Line up my pieces as even as I can. And I start my cut just so I know where to make the hole. Just so they're both consistent. And this cutting tool I didn't buy. It's just a piece of tubing that I had, plastic tubing. And I sanded and filed down the end of it just to make it sharp. And you just pop out your center. Okay, for real this time, they're ready to be sealed and painted. Well, there's how it looks so far with just the primer coat and some of this Wicked Colors Wicked Gold from Createx airbrush paints. Next I'm going to use some Model Masters Gold just to hit all these accents up a bit and dry brush some of that on there to make them pop. Here they are, all laced up with my leather. Now in the movie, the holes are not round. They are slits, I suppose you could say. But I didn't want to cut it with an X-Acto knife, and I didn't have a way to cut it in a rectangle without getting all the ugly lines. So I just went with the cleaner looking round holes, but I think it looks better having leather. I'm glad I didn't end up going with the Velcro. Okay, I have these 16 links here that I cut out. Well, 15. This is number 16. And I went through several trial and error processes, one of which was I made a mold and tried to mold them with the sculptable EVA foam, but that just didn't work out very well. Like, it looked good, it looked actually better, but it's just too soft, whereas these, I can tug and pull on them pretty hard and they don't tear or rip or even deform. Whereas the moldable foam just kept deforming and tearing. So what I did with this, because every time I use an X-Acto knife I get those ugly like trail lines from trying to cut around a curve or even just cutting straight. So I end up cutting 2 holes in my links. This isn't actually an EVA foam cutting tool. This is from Matrix or Matrix Essentials. It's actually meant for hair care products. And what you do is you slide the end of the tube, and by tube I mean like toothpaste tube, and then you can roll it up so it squeezes everything out of it. It's not meant for cutting EVA foam, but that's what I'm using it for. And my wife's not here and she doesn't know. Once I get the holes out of it, I just take a sharp pair of scissors and cut out the rest. Trim it up so it looks decent. It's not straight. There we go. Yeah. Now that that's done, I'm going to count out every other link, and I'm going to cut them here and put contact cement on them. Alright, I put all my links together, and I added this little clip here that is from my left gauntlet, where this will clip in, and then this can attach to the kunai, so I can just kind of hold it in my hand with the chain hanging down like that. Next, I'm going to need to take some little bits of foam and glue some spikes onto my chain links. I'm just doing every other link, and I'm just doing the ones that have the cut in it. I tried to do links cutting the spikes into it, but again, I got too many like jagged runs from the scissors, and I just hated the way the finished product looked. All these little spike pieces were actually just little corner pieces and scraps from cutting down all my links. Typically, those would just end up in the trash, but I saw them and was like, hey, I can just use those to make my spikes. So I did. Okay, that was black with some createx wicked gold and createx pearlized silver. Lastly, layered over that to give it kind of a gold silver look, depending on how like the light hits it or whatever. So I'm going to let this finish drying and then put the cosplay together. It's finished, except for I have not hemmed the sleeves on the gi yet, so I'm just going to have to roll them up now that I have the gauntlets. But yeah, I'm pretty hyped to be able to finally put all of this together. Before I throw it on, today I'm going to be adding a new name to the board, and today's name is going to be Faker Maker Props. They've been super supportive for a while, upload their own videos and do their own thing as well, and I'm really happy to be able to add this one in this video. Well, that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Got it done a little faster than normal, but I had a little bit of extra time to work on it as well. And yeah, that's it for the main videos for the Scorpion cosplay. I am going to be working on some more Mortal Kombat related props, and also a different Batman cowl I've been wanting to build, but just hadn't got around to it. I'm going to finally get around to doing that. The Mandalorian is done as well. I did actually film the last video for it about a month ago. I just never got around to editing it. I also need help putting all that on to just get footage of me wearing it. So be on the lookout for that sometime soon. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and if you're not subscribed, please consider doing so, as it does really help out the channel. As always, thank you for watching, and have a great day.